Hey everybody, Moshe Rothschild here, the Global Israel Alliance. You'll notice I'm trying out a new background this week. Figured go with the books, makes me look nice and smart. Wanted to welcome all our new viewers from the Momentum Trip who signed up for this weekly update for the week ending November 8th, Friday, November 8th. This week, the Shin Bet, which is Israel's internal anti-terror security force, they said that they thwarted over 400 major terror attacks in Israel this past year, and they've arrested over 500 terrorists. He also said that Israel has thwarted numerous cyber attacks against the country, so they are keeping us safe, and we bless them and hope they keep up the good work. This week, the Tel Aviv District Planning Committee announced that there will be a large urban renewal project in Bat Yam, which is just south of Tel Aviv, and in place of 424 existing apartments, it will be replaced with 1,728 housing units. Now, I assume they're going to put those 1,700 units in the same place where there are 424 units now. Seems like it'll be a little bit crowded, but whatever. According to the traffic app Waze, Tel Aviv, believe it or not, is the world's fourth most congested city in the world. Right? When we do things right. The fourth most congested city behind Manila, Bogota, and Jakarta. So we're in good company, but that is crazy. So they're building a light rail in Tel Aviv. Hopefully that will help. Excuse me, the Israel Supreme Court this week upheld the ruling of a lower court that Omar Shakir, who's the local director of Human Rights Watch, must be deported. The government claims that he is supporting the international BDS movement, which is, of course, the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. So we are asking people who don't love us, who don't support us, and who are actively looking to destroy the state of Israel, we'll ask you to politely leave. It's not that Israel doesn't want detractors or critics, but we're talking people that are actively seeking the destruction of the state of Israel. The annexation move. This week, a member of the Likud is preparing a bill that would require Israel to annex the Jordan Valley. Remember, the Jordan Valley is along our border between Israel and, of course, Jordan. And the bill would require us to annex that area, as well as the new right leader, Ayelet Shaked, is preparing a legislation to annex the Gush Etzion block and Ma'ale Adumim. Remember, the Gush Etzion block has somewhere like between 60,000 people living here. Ma'ale Adumim also has like 60,000 people, and everyone agrees that if there is a final status agreement of peace with the Palestinians, with the Arabs, those two areas, Gush Etzion and Ma'ale Adumim, would remain in Jewish hands, and we would swap out different areas. So she's suggesting, hey, let's just annex them because everyone can agree that we're never going to leave Gush Etzion or Ma'ale Adumim. Happens to be, I am standing right now in Gush Etzion with these amazing books making me look brilliant. So here is where I live, and I would love for them to annex this area. Now let's go back to something we discussed a couple weeks ago. Jason Greenblatt, who is Donald Trump's envoy to the Middle East, he resigned, and his term just ended this week. Excuse me. And he said as follows: before this administration, engagement between Israel and its neighbors was often behind the scenes. People were reluctant to speak about it out loud. Now, in just 3 years, we see a huge shift with countries being increasingly open about its relationship and engagement with Israel. He was referring, of course, to the warming ties between Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates and Israel. It's amazing. They used to say that Israel was like the mistress. Nobody wanted to talk about her, but they had relations with her. Now, it is now coming into the open where Israel is no longer the mistress, but maybe the wife. Now let's end with two feel-good stories from Israel. I love having positive news from Israel. An Israeli startup developed a handheld device that detects the full ingredients of food, preventing those with allergies of consuming anything that could be dangerous or harmful to them. It's called AllerGuard, and it's a handheld sensor. The device enables the person to scan the food without actually cutting a piece off, touching the food. They can scan the food, and deeply onto a molecular level, it can determine exactly what's there. So sometimes a package might say there are traces of peanuts, etc. If there's any trace, this machine will detect what exactly is the content of the food. According to AllerGuard, their website says one can know within 60 seconds if the food is safe to eat. Unprecedented accuracy down to the molecular level. Amazing. We are allowing people to eat safely. The last story I want to share with you, this week Israel celebrated what's called Aliyah Day. They established Aliyah Day in 2016. Aliyah means to move to Israel. So this year we celebrated 28,000 new immigrants that made Aliyah, meaning that moved to Israel over this past year. And this is the statement from the government. On Aliyah Day, we honor the immigrants to Israel through the generations, the people who left everything and immigrated to Israel. The bravery and determination and unique contribution of each one is felt in all aspects of life in the country. Well, I am one of those. Since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, there have been 3.5 million Jews who have made Aliyah, which make up 42% of the population. That's an amazing number. So anyhow, guys, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Shabbat. May this be the greatest Shabbat of your life, at least until next week. And have a wonderful day.